Welcome to Stress-Free SOULutions with Sarah. I'm your host, Sarah Alysse, a stress management and fitness coach, advocating the world to trust their gut more often. I discuss various ways to manage stress and share personal stories of guest experts who have gone through the same stressors as all of you at home. Hey there, super moms of the universe. Let's play a game called hide and seek. No, not with your kids or that mysteriously vanishing left sock. It's time to seek out you in the everyday hide and seek of life. Introducing Mastering the Soul System, a 12-week journey to reclaim your time and energy. This course is your gateway to finding balance, energy, and joy in every aspect of your bustling life. Picture this, 12 weeks where the words mom and mayhem don't always go together. Rediscover yourself with every breath in our Soulful Mind Weeks. Sing out loud in the shower or car, off-key is absolutely fine, and dance during our Soulful Body sessions, and embrace the quiet whispers of your heart in our Soulful Spirit adventures. It's about time your spirit got a front row seat, don't you think? Join us on this journey. Embrace the harmony between being a dedicated mom and your personal aspirations. Mastering the soul system, because darling, in the noise, find your silence. And maybe, just maybe, a bit of that elusive thing called me time. You deserve to thrive, not just survive. So come on, slide into our world at www.livewellenhanceyou.com/soul system. Your journey back to you starts now. Welcome back to another episode of Stress-Free SOULutions, where we dive into everything from wellness to self-care and the sometimes messy but always worth it journey of living intentionally. We've been talking about reclaiming your time and energy. We have talked about soulistic living, how to make room for ourselves. But the one thing we haven't really talked about is the power of one word, no. And I mean the kind of no that you give not out of guilt or fear, but out of love. The kind of no that protects your peace and enriches your soul. Now, I don't know about you, but for a long time, I wasn't great at saying no. I felt like I had to please everyone, help everyone, be there for everyone else except myself. I know you know the drill. Always saying yes, taking on more work, more commitments, and of course, sacrificing your own well-being in the process. I'll share a story from my life in a moment about how I learned the hard way that saying no wasn't just okay. It was absolutely necessary. It really wasn't until I hit rock bottom that I realized I had a problem with saying no. Around the time of my father's passing, I was juggling multiple projects, including writing a show, playing music, working late nights, and saying yes to every networking event possible, all while trying to be a good daughter to my mom when she was doing the majority of the work herself, and communicating with my father what he needed. These were very hard conversations. I thought I was being productive, but really I was throwing myself into my work and not tapping into what was going on inside. I thought I was being helpful with my dad and navigating that whole journey, communicating how sick he was to his family and our friends and our family friends. But it was just depleting my energy. And I often feel that during that time, I wasn't a good daughter. I'm sure you've been there. when you say yes because you don't want to disappoint anyone or because you don't feel like you have the right to say no. And as a result, you end up stressed, resentful, and so exhausted. I remember feeling like I was running on fumes. I didn't feel like I had permission to stop, even though all my clients and friends said I needed to stop. I was trying to be everything to everyone. And in the process, I was giving less and less to the people and things that really mattered. Now, don't get me wrong, I was there, but I wish the one thing I would have done differently, forget work, just be with your father and your mom at this time. And then there was a turning point. I reached a moment where I had to be honest with myself. I had no more energy to give. I was burnt out. When my father passed away 2 months later, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I was a mess. I took off a full week of work, which was huge for me back then. And I said no to all of the obligations I had. In that space of exhaustion, I realized something so powerful. I was the one not respecting my own boundaries. And that's when I began my journey of learning how to say no. Well, let's be clear. I'm not talking about being selfish or shutting people out. What I'm talking about is honoring your own energy, your peace of mind, and your personal values. It's about being intentional with your time and commitments so you can give your best to the things that truly matter. For me, that meant spending more quality time with my family, nurturing my health, and honestly, carving out just space for myself, which was a game changer. The key realization for me was that boundaries weren't a wall. They were a way to make sure that I was showing up as my best self for my family, communicating with my coworkers and clients, and for myself. I completely did a 180 for my life. I invested in myself by taking a health and wellness certification course. I've talked about this before, but in depth, what this provided for me wasn't just health. It was also a spiritual connection with my father. Even though he wasn't around anymore, I found that I could relate to him even more. There were a lot of things that we had in common. We were both people pleasers. We were both schmoozers. We could talk to anyone. We tended to listen to everyone, but we didn't always put ourselves first. We were both emotional eaters, which is something I've shared before. There are so many positive memories I have of my dad and the quality time we have shared with one another. There are so many things that I now see, and that's something I hold dear now. The only difference is I'm living not just for me anymore, I'm also living for him. And I know he would want me to live with my whole heart. And I think that's why I wanted to chat with you guys today about the power of no, because my dad was also not great at saying no. So let's talk about how you can start saying no in a way that feels empowering. It's all about setting boundaries with love. And here's the thing, it's not easy at first. If you've spent years saying yes and being the person who does everything for everyone, it is so uncomfortable. But trust me, the benefits of saying no far outweigh the temporary discomfort. When I started saying no, it felt strange, but then it started to feel empowering. It freed up space for creativity, space for my family, space for self-care, even nutrition. It's weird to say that it took me until my mid-20s to start saying no, but now, here's the thing. When you say no to something that drains your energy, you're actually saying yes to something that fuels your soul. So for me, saying no now means saying yes to time with my daughter, to quiet moments in the morning, and to nurturing my relationships with the people who lift me up. Let's get into some practical tips for setting boundaries that enrich your soul. Start small is number one. If saying no feels hard, start with small things. If you're asked to take on something that doesn't align with your values or your priorities, start with a gentle no, thank you. No explanation needed. 2 is be honest, but kind. Boundaries aren't about being harsh or rude. They're about being clear and respectful. A simple, I'd love to, I'm unable to commit to this right now is more than enough. I used to use the word but I've cut that out because people only listen to the but. They wouldn't hear the I love to portion. So that's why I recommend saying, I'd love to. Pause. I'm unable to commit to this right now. 3, use a pause before saying yes. When you're asked to do something, don't feel pressured to respond immediately. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, does this align with your current priorities? Will it leave you feeling energized or drained? And give yourself permission to take a breath before committing. Usually in those breaths, you're able to hear what you really want to do. And then the no might naturally come out. And 4, be consistent. Setting boundaries is like building a muscle. The more you practice, the easier it gets. And remember, boundaries are for you. They're a way to protect your peace, not to disappoint others. To wrap up, I want you to know that saying no is one of the most empowering things you can do for your well-being. It's not selfish. Many people will tell you that you're being selfish, especially if they're starting to hear no more frequently from you. Trust me, that's the thing. It's important to remember, though, that it's protecting your peace and honoring your needs. It's about giving yourself permission to show up fully in the areas of the life that you want to live. I challenge you to start embracing the power of no in your life. What is the one thing you can do in this week that will give you more space to nurture yourself and your soul? I'd love to hear from you. Please share with me your takeaways as always. Message me on Instagram or leave a review on this episode. Remember, your time and energy are precious. Speak well to yourself on this self-love journey. Thanks to Dan Lieber at Beckett Brown Music for the intro and outro music. You can keep in touch with me on Instagram at Sarah Alysse Coaching. If you're looking to improve your health and wellness, check out my business, livewellenhanceyou.com. While you're there, join the Live Well Enhance You email list and receive exclusive offers for our wellness programs and events. Until next time, take care.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host, you seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.